So this is going to be showing you how to do the printing and cleanup part of this. So the black ink I use is in this tub. It's not my favorite, but it's the cheapest. So I want to talk about the best way to get ink from the tub. Again, ink is very thick, almost like the texture of like toothpaste thick. So I'm just going to scoop out just a little bit, kind of like that. Not a lot. I can get more, but as soon as we start using it, we can't put it back. So I have just a little bit here. I'm going to leave the spoon to the side. Okay. So there's my ink. Notice it's at the top of my block. I'm not putting it down too far. So I'm going to take my brayer. So this is that rolly guy. You want to make sure all of this is dry. So this is dry, my brayer is dry, everything's dry. And I'm going to dip just a little bit. So I'm not taking all of that ink. That's sort of my pull from zone. So I'm going to dip, push forward, lift. So what you'll notice is it's sort of stripy, right? You see those stripes? That means it's too thick. So I'm going to continue rolling. And what we're looking for is a speckly pattern, like a speckly texture like that. Okay, so this is all inked now. You want to move pretty quickly, but you have to be patient since you are sharing these plates with people. So I'm going to move that to the side so I can show you the next part. So I have my styrofoam block with my design. If I flip it over, I have a little red star there, which tells you that's the part that was towards my tummy. That's what needs to be in the middle of all of my prints. So I'm going to ink this up, making sure I get all of it. It's hard to see where I've inked on mine just because it was sort of stained, but I'm going to ink it all up as best as I can, and then I'm going to pull out my colored paper, and I'm making sure that red star I made, that mark, is facing towards the inside. Then I'm just going to press, 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 smudge, 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 get all of that ink pressed down, and then I'm going to pull it up. So there's my first print. During that time when I was smudge, 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 somebody else could have been printing. So now I'm going to come back and I'm going to get some more ink. I'm doing my airplane that's landing and taking off. And I'm going to ink, 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 making sure I get every little corner. It's okay if it gets on my table. You'll just use the desk wipes and clean it. If there's no desk wipes, you'll use just a damp paper towel. Okay, so this is ready. I'm going to flip it, make sure that red mark is facing towards the inside, right, that inner area, and I'm just going to press, press, press. So don't worry if this is messy, because we can trim that down really easily. So I'm just going to keep pressing it, and then pull. Okay. So you're going to continue doing that. You'll have it 4 times per paper. 4 times per paper. I'm going to do it, I'm going to leave it at 3 just because I'm showing you. You are doing it 4 times. So I'm going to do this one. Notice my paper, my paper kind of comes off the edge a little bit. That's okay. I'm just not going to press there because I don't need to print onto my table, you know. So I'm just going to continue pressing, making sure it's transferring. And then I'm going to do without inking just to wrap up what this should look like. You would ink in between though. I just want to call it, show you, sort of. Okay, so that's my 4 prints on each page, right? So I would still have that border that I can cut off later. So I've done this. Now what we're going to do is talk about cleaning up. Again, there is a video on this more specifically. So this ink here I didn't touch. You all probably won't have that. So I anticipate you not having this. So it'll be something closer to this. I like these the fully black palette knives. There's also the ones with silver. I'm going to use the black one. Even if they're broken, some of them break at the handle here, you can still use it down here. And we're just going to scrape as much of this off as we can. So the goal here is to keep this ink out of my sink, because then it dries in my sink and clogs it, and then Mr. Nick or Mr. Slavic, our custodians who work in my room, get kind of grumpy, because then there's like more work that has to be done, right? They don't want to have to worry about my sinks. It just gives them way more work than they need to have. So we're going to completely scrape as much off as we can. We can even do that here. So if there's a bunch of ink here, you can roll this onto a paper towel to try and get some off. This is not that much ink. This is a lot of ink, or can be a lot of ink. So I've scraped all of this off, and I'm going to go wash it all in the sink. Please watch the direct, specific cleaning video to help walk you through the cleaning, okay?